Hi there, how are you? Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I hope you're having a great evening. I am. I'm at home, my shoes are off, and yes, I only wear flip-flops, but hey, yes, it's October and I still have flip-flops on. My toes are still painted, my toenails. So, with that being said, I'm gonna hop across to the computer and get things set up and wait for you to come on. So hold on a sec. Alrighty, so I've got everything set. Again, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. So a couple housekeeping things. First off, November 2nd and 3rd, Saturday and Sunday of the very first weekend, Reach Out Morongo Basin is doing their 13th annual craft fair, and I believe it's my 13th time. Gee, go figure, huh? So they are doing their craft fair. If Robin is making her from scratch flour tortillas in her Chile, Colorado, you need to come. Not only because of the crafts, but oh my gosh, that meal is amazing. So, also this weekend I have Stamp a Stack. It is $45, but it's 16 cards, you guys. 16. Okay. So, and full dinner. So, you need to come out. I think I'm going to do taco bar. So, shredded beef, you know, beans, the whole 9 yards. Okay? So, we've got 4 cards. This one features the plaid. 4 cards, but 4 of each. So, you will do 16 of these. The moose. Some ornaments. And a more traditional, using the magnolia, but a play on it for the poinsettias. Okay, so with that, tonight we are getting hammered. Not literally, but literally. So the 3D hammered embossing folder is what we're going to be using tonight. A little play on words for you. And we're going to be doing some 3D ornaments as well. So that is what we're going to be making. So I'm going to push down for you and we'll get set with the card we're creating tonight. So hold on. All right. Let me make sure we are going here because I don't see anybody on yet. Had to refresh the computer, so hold on a half a second and then we will get things going. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure. Whoever's on with me, please say hello. So, for this evening, I've got my Merry Christmas ribbon. I've already cut off, but it's the classic weave ribbon. One thing to pay attention to, make sure, because this is very vanilla and not white ribbon, make sure that you have designer series paper that matches and doesn't have a white undertone. It'll look kind of funny if you put white and vanilla together. And I've got some peacock rhinestones. Gotta love those peacock rhinestones. I've got some star designer elements. I've got pieces and parts. And then I've got the card that I showed you beforehand. I'm going to get a sip of water. Alright, so this card. If you're wondering, I've got very vanilla card base. This is cut at 5.5 by 11 and scored at the 4 1/4 mark, or halfway. Okay, The Mossy Meadow mat is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. The blue of the peacock foils is cut at, let's see if I can do the math, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, or 3/4 of an inch in from the 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyways, and then I've got punch outs from the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper. I've got punch outs of the ornaments, both large and small, and then a little cutout of that ribbon. Okay. I've used glue dots on the foil because that's the only thing that sticks. And notice here, hold on this blue, I need to get the folder. Hold on. 1 second. Alrighty. Teaching moment. Alright, so when you get your 3D embossing folder, or any embossing folder for that matter, you will have the logo and then you will have the copyright, usually on the front and the back. Yeah, alright, so you want to pay attention to this. So if you want everything popped up and not sunk in, so for instance on this one, see how it's more sunk in? And this one, it's more popped up. I hope you can see that. Hi Cheryl, how are you? So when you do this, if you want the foil to be popped up, then you're going to put it against the logo, or opposite of what you're thinking. So if you feel your embossing folder, this one's a hard one, but like with the tufted, it's really easy. But if you feel your embossing folder and it feels like it's going concave, the paper is going to push into that space, and then you'll have something that raises up. So you got to think opposite. If you have something that's more raised, then it will push into the paper and you'll have something a little bit more concave. Okay, so that's what we want to focus on with this. And with this card, I had the foil facing towards the front of the embossing folder. With this one, I had it down. Okay, so that's something you need to pay attention to when you've got your folders. Okay, so we've got that going on, and let's create a card, shall we? So with the thick, very vanilla card base that I've cut, I've scored here the valley, not the mountain. The mountain is the bump, the valley is the indent. So on the valley side, you're going to fold so your valley becomes your outside. Okay, so what you normally wouldn't see becomes your outside, because normally you would see a mountain, correct? Okay, so we've got that, and then I've got my Mossy Meadow. I'm just going to grab my Snail Adhesive. Yes, I use a lot, but it is okay. So we are going sideways on this card. Since I did the other one portrait, we're going to do this other one landscape, okay? So I've got this, and I'm going to grab my snail. If for any reason your foil is curled, which sometimes it does that, okay, you want to just stretch it down so that way it glues correctly and you'll be fine. Okay, try not to push too hard because that embossing will flatten out eventually. Okay, so I've got a pile of punches here. This is from the ornaments. Let's see, here's one of them, just so you know what they look like. I'm not sure where my other one ran off to, because honestly my room is a little bit messy tonight, but that is okay. So I've got 3 of each. I happen to cut an extra one, so we'll just lay that to the side. And then I've got 3 of the smaller one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and you can score it if you like, if you need to be exact, but well, that's not me if you haven't figured that out by now. So what I'm going to do is just fold these in half, and you're going to try to line them up best you can. And before you do a hard crease, just make sure all your points kind of match. Okay, so we're just going to fold down the middle. You're going to want to pay attention to what's on the outside and what's on the inside pattern wise when you're folding. Okay, so if you wanted more green, like on this one, you would have your pattern facing the inside. If you want your pattern to show, then you're going to have your green facing the inside. You just got to think a little bit opposite. And if they're not perfect, it's okay. All right. So with this one, I am going to do the same because I actually didn't like how these two were facing. I wish I had done opposite and then done this one, but it was too late. I had already glued them down, of course, because that's what happens, right? So, all right. So I'm going to finish folding these guys. Finish, finish, finish. And I should ask you, what is your favorite thing in the holiday catalog? It really depends on the day for me, honestly. I've got so many things that I do like. It's quite scary, actually. I loved the Monster Bash paper. I always called it Monster Mash, but hey, I loved that paper. But I'm kind of done with Halloween now. Yes, I know it's not here yet, but for creating, I'm kind of done. And then I'm now working on leaves and fall and Christmas and all of it all at once too. So, all right, so with this, I'm going to cover the ornament in snail, quite a bit of it, and you're going to, if you happen to do this card, of course, you're going to line it up as best you can, okay? And you're just going to stick these boogers down, yeah? So there's my one, okay? And I'm going to do that with the rest of these guys. You're going to want to put quite a bit of glue because you don't want them coming off later. And I have realized that when I'm trying to stick them on this side, I tend to use my left hand so I don't have a shadow going across or can't see as well. I don't know if you're able to do that. When I was little, my grandma actually taught me to be right-handed instead of left-handed. I remember her telling me, no, you cannot be left-handed. Life is so hard when you're left-handed. You smear everything and the scissors never work. So I got reinforced that I was supposed to be right-handed. And I still can do some things left-handed, and I also can switch hit when I'm playing baseball or softball. Yes, really. Just one of those fun facts that you might want to have known about me, right? So, with that, remember we got to use glue dots on the foil because the snail doesn't adhere very well. So we're going to grab the glue dots. An easy way for me is just grab the little wings that come out. Okay, so we're going to push onto the paper directly. That way you're not taking the stickies off of your fingers, with your fingers rather. And you just kind of figure out where you want to line them up. Yeah? Okay. So I've got that going on. Okay. And I've got more ornaments to press down on. Where's my other dots? My goodness. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do one more up here. I'm going to try to get them lined up. Good luck. Wish me luck. Yeah? Okay. So we've got that going on. And then last but not least, I've got this little guy. And this guy is going to go way up here because I'm going to put the ribbon on the bottom. Okay, so there's my ornament so far. My ribbon, I'm going to trim down and do a little tiny bit of a dovetail. Be careful because those letters come in really close. And it looks like I need to do some Goo Gone on my scissors there, but we'll get there, like everything else, right? Alrighty, so I'm going to find out where my dot is, vice my M, and I'm going to cut and get my Merry Christmas going there. Okay. And we're going to do some glue dots on the ribbon here. Easy way to do ribbon is just, because it's pretty much equidistant, you can just push down until you get to the end, and then you gotta lay it out a little bit better. So there's my Merry Christmas, and then I gotta have some bling, right? Because I didn't put any on the other one, but this one's laid out a little bit differently. So I think I'll be able to do that. So I'm gonna grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do some blue with it. So I've got my putty tip here. If you need to shape it a little bit, you can. If it's dry, scrape it off and get things done, right? Those don't show up very much, but they will add a tiny, tiny bit of, just a little bit of bling. Go figure. Okay. Okay. So I've capped that off. If you don't like the blue, you can pick a different color. You can do rhinestones. You could do nothing at all. You could do gold star or the copper stars, which I had right here, but honestly, I'm like, do I want them somewhere? No, I don't think so. I think it's busy enough. So that is the card for tonight. Ah, wait. I forgot. Yes, I know we didn't even stamp tonight, right? But I gotta do my angel kiss on the back. We gotta do the copyright release if we're selling cards, right? So if you ever intend to sell a card, even if you're not a demonstrator, make sure that you have what we call the angel stamps. So any of them that have the copyright release on them. So there's Calligraphy Essentials, there's, which I believe is this one, there used to be Crafting Forever, and there's one other, and I can't remember right off the top of my head. So these are the journaling pens. Obviously you can see that I've used it because half the writing's rubbed off. There's a thicker and a thinner. I tend to go with the thicker one, but they're awesome because they don't smear and are ready to go, as you can see. Okay, so those are awesome pens for when you have a little bit of paper that might have a little bit of slick to it. Those are awesome because you give it about 5 seconds and then it's dry and no problem. They also write on glass. They also write over alcohol ink, and then obviously on cardstock. They're just awesome. So that is what we've got for tonight. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our hammered cards, and follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.